Welcome to the Bullcast Podcast. I'm Katie Pickler, and with me is Cameron Spann.
Good tidings.
And Court Winsett.
And to you, my brother.
It's an end of an era.
Are we ending the podcast?
No.
Did you? No, because nobody told me.
No. It's the end of the penny,
Oh.
which is sad.
Sure, yeah. I don't feel particularly sad.
I mean, so what's going to happen? You've got all these pennies. What's going to happen? I mean, finding pennies, kids, are they going to understand getting change, things like that? I mean, so much is happening. I know that we've talked about on this podcast about cashless society and how like paper cash, coins, things like that are really disappearing. They were not being used as much, but the penny.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about it. So, we all know the saying, find a penny, pick it up all day long, you'll have good luck. And heads or tails, flipping the penny, finding the penny on the ground, so much.
Yeah, luck ran out, didn't it?
Oh, gosh.
November 12th, 2025. That is the day the United States officially ended production of the penny. So I'm hoping that during this podcast, we'll actually answer the question, when will they be fully out of circulation? Yeah. Because once pennies are out of circulation, I'm assuming that retailers and basically anybody that charges you money for anything is going to start rounding up. Yeah. Basically. There will no longer be 1/100th of a dollar charges. It'll either be 5/100ths of a dollar or 10 or 25 or so forth.
I get the decision. Like, I don't know how y'all are, but I am strictly digital currency unless the vendor doesn't take digital, then it's debit or credit card. Like, I never have cash on me, and change just takes up space in my truck.
Man,
little compartment.
As me spending, doing things, everything is electronic. But now that I have kids, it's really, I don't know, that feeling like I wish it'd be cool to like have a piggy bank, have those different things, explain to them like the pennies, things like that. And because even like when we would do Easter eggs at my parents' house, then some Easter eggs had change in it. Some had, $1, some had candy in it. And you could always give the younger kids like the pennies and stuff because, they get a ton of coins. And then explaining to them the value of money and, well, the little bitty coin, how much that's worth versus the bigger coins. And
yeah. So I had I think the end of the penny, it's just a theory. The end of the penny started when restaurants and like fast food restaurants and convenience stores and stuff like that, when they started accepting credit cards, that's when you saw people, because before, for instance, when I used to go out and get fast food for myself and my wife, I used to say like, okay, I've got to go by the ATM and get some cash so when I would go and get cash, I would go and get fast food. I would buy the fast food. I would pay cash. They would give me back change. I would put the change in the door of my car. And then every now and then I would empty out the change and put it in a big giant pitcher that I had in my bar. And then every now and then I'd roll it up and, we would go to a movie or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It's an easy, fun way of saving.
Yeah. But one time as I was leaving to go get Wendy's, I think I was like, I got to go by the ATM. And my wife said, why don't you just pay with the debit card? And we don't recommend that you pay with your debit card. Remember that if your debit card gets stolen,
that's all your money.
Yeah. So use a credit card. But she said at the time, why don't you just pay with the debit card at the store? And I was like, do they do that? And she was like, yeah, that's what that little thing is on the outside of their drive-through window. You just run your card through that. And I was like, oh my God, that was a game changer. From then on, I never had change anymore. And I literally don't even know what to do with change when I get it now. Usually I just leave it in their little, that little thing, that leave a penny thing?
Yeah, but
I just leave all my change in there.
Well, see, that's the thing is there's the impact of, we as the consumers may not be hoarding the change. But think about those little leave a penny or donation things.
Yeah, McDonald's house, Ronald McDonald house.
A lot of those places are going to be impacted because you're not going to have that change per se that you're dropping. Now, I know they're doing the roundup.
Taco Bell's notorious for it every time.
Yeah. McDonald's does it for like 1 month or whatever.
Yeah.
And which, I don't know, they could do it all year round because some people really do like the symmetry. They like the even number of, hey, it's, of course they'll get you if it's like $5.25. Do you want to round up to $6, well, no, that's a big jump. But if it's like $5.89, okay, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And to clarify something earlier, I said I strictly use digital currency. I don't mean like Bitcoin. I mean like NFC payments, like Apple Pay.
Yeah, exactly.
That was probably confusing the way I worded it.
Yeah.
No, I knew what you meant with that.
Meant, but yeah.
But that is something I've realized again, in my news cycle of crazy mama running out the door and going, oh my gosh, I have the diaper bag, I have the babies, I have this, but my wallet is sitting on the, counter at home. I'm like, what do I do if I have to pay for something? Oh, I have my watch, I have my phone.
Yeah.
Most places take Apple Pay. And I didn't realize that until now that I've had to utilize it. I'm like, oh, I can still function.
Yeah.
One of the things that I do, it's interesting. When I am here just in town, just traveling about, minding my own business, I never carry cash with me. I have a few credit cards, my driver's license, stuff like that, but I never carry cash. When I go out of town, I carry one credit card. I never carry more than one. So, if I'm going on a personal trip, I'll take a personal credit card. If I'm going on a business trip, I'll carry a business credit card, but I never carry more than one. I carry my license, but I also carry $100 in cash.
Yep.
Because when I'm on the road, there are more scenarios in which I might need and use cash that never come up at home.
Yeah.
But okay, so I'm going to give you a fun fact that related to pennies to get back on subject, and then we'll do our list, and then we'll actually dig into the penny thing. The final 2 pennies that were made were stamped with a special marking and will never go into circulation. They'll be kept for historical, archival purposes. So,
Very cool.
Oh, that'd be cool though if it was in circulation. You could get the lucky penny.
That would be awesome. Can you imagine? That's like a 1943 copper penny is worth $100,000 because they only made like 7 of them. Or something. 1943. Okay, so copper shortage because they were making ammunition for the war, and so 1943 famously they were making pennies out of steel instead of copper, but they did mint a few copper pennies before they stopped, maybe for, again, historical purposes, but they actually made it into circulation, I am told. So I don't know that to be true, but I have heard. And so if you ever get a penny that's a 1943 copper penny, you hang on to that Murph.
Whoa. Somebody who's probably just thrown it away or something like
word,
that.
It's probably at the bottom of a dumpster somewhere.
But it's, well,
anyway,
I'll go into list. I'll go into that story in a minute. Go ahead, start the list.
Okay, the list this week is going to be famous penny idioms and sayings, which I like. That's different. It's I will throw in there, just because we are a pop culture podcast on top of everything else. There is I think it's a Steve Martin movie called Pennies from Heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is that right? Is it Steve Martin?
Oh, look.
I know he did My Blue Heaven, but I think he also did Pennies from Heaven. So anyway, first famous idiom and saying, you've already covered it, I think. No, you did find a penny, pick it up. The next one is penny for your thoughts.
Yes.
So when the penny goes out of circulation, are people going to keep saying penny for your thoughts? Or is it going to be like nickel for your thoughts?
Steve Martin and Bernadette Peters.
Boom. Court just dropped the mic and walked out of the room.
That's going to be one of those of like penny for your thoughts, and people are like, what's the penny?
What's a penny? Yeah,
what is that?
Your boys will.
They're not going to know.
They're not going to know what a penny
is.
is.
No, they will know what a penny is. I will teach them about a penny. I have to be like, okay, boys, take this for show and tell. And they're like, oh, these weird Callahan twins showed up with pennies. Like, what is this?
You just did penny for your thoughts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
A penny saved is a penny earned.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't spend money, it's the same as earning it. Save where you can.
Turn up like a bad penny.
I don't know this one.
I don't know this one. It says someone or something unwanted that keeps returning.
I've never heard that expression.
I
wonder if that's like I don't know. I've never heard that expression.
I've definitely used the other ones.
Okay. A pretty penny.
I've definitely used that one.
Something very expensive.
Yeah. I think I actually used penny. I used penny in a conversation the other day that was kind of like a phrase.
Okay.
Oh, the next one's a good one. My 2 cents.
Oh, what about my 2 cents?
My 2 cents. That would be, some of our listeners may know this. That would be David's weekly blog that's been going for 12 and a half years without skipping a beat. But this would mean sharing your opinion. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I know you didn't ask for it, but my 2 cents. Here's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this one is silly. I mean, this one's just silly. Spend a penny. A British euphemism for going to the restroom. Oh, okay. No, it got funny.
Yeah.
It got funny.
Yeah.
A British euphemism for going to the restroom comes from when public toilets used to cost 1 penny to enter.
But
guys, I'm going to start spending a penny.
spend a penny.
Anytime I need to go potty, I'm going to be like, I'm going to go spend a penny.
But the thing is you do still have to pay for public toilets.
Yeah, I was about to say in Italy, you have to pay.
Yeah. And that's
How
what
much?
several places in the
What do
UK
you
as
pay?
well.
It's like
Is it like a credit card? Did they take a credit card?
no, it's like their equivalent of like 5-cent coin or something.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
think
that expensive.
It's their like penny now. Is they've
mean,
inflation
You know,
created it.
call me back. I'll start traveling when they all take Apple Pay. You know, let me just boop it and be done. I don't want to carry around a bunch of lira or whatever the heck they call their money.
That's a lot of them are doing that, or you'll have to download an app because I know traveling by different transportations than when I was in London, I would have it set up for pretty much everybody in the group, and I'd just sit there and like, boop, okay, go, boop, boop, but on my phone, and then you get back and you've got all these different charges. Oh my gosh, we forgot one. Penny wise and pound foolish. It's definitely one that we've heard. I think we actually did an episode explaining that quote. So sorry we missed that. Clearly, there are a lot of different phrases out there that use penny that we're going to have to really kind of think about now.
Okay, there was the list. History of the penny. Let's talk a little bit about the penny. Did you know that the penny has existed almost as long as the United States itself?
Yeah. So and then you're getting rid of it. What? The very first American cent was struck in 1787, designed by Benjamin Franklin. It featured a sundial and the motto, mind your business.
Yeah, it clearly did not have Abraham Lincoln on it
No.
because Lincoln wasn't even alive yet.
6 years later, in 1793, the U.S. Mint took over production after Congress passed the Coinage Act.
That early cent was copper, larger than today's, and featured the flowing hair Liberty with 15 chain links symbolizing the states.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, cool. 1857, the coin shrunk to a more familiar size and adopted the Flying Eagle design. 88% copper, 12% nickel.
Okay. 1909. Here we go.
Oh,
Abraham Lincoln first appeared on the cent to mark his 100th birthday, the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Fantastic.
Wow.
In 2010 to 2025, the Union Shield reverse design became standard, with Lincoln still on the obverse.
Okay, I don't understand what that means.
Yeah, have you seen the Shield penny? I'm sure you have.
Apparently not.
Let me see here.
I guess I haven't.
The first time I saw it, I thought it was like a Chuck E. Cheese like fake
Oh,
token.
yeah, I've
but
seen
yeah,
those.
I guess I haven't seen a penny in a while.
yeah, you see that?
Yeah, so it's got the shield on one side, says 1 cent, and then it has Lincoln on the other.
But doesn't it kind of look like a fake like game token or something?
Yeah, it really
Does it
does.
have In God We Trust on the penny? No, that's the
Only
dollar.
pennies I was
on the-
familiar with were the wheat penny,
Yeah, it says In God We Trust. Yeah.
Above Abe.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The wheat penny?
the wheat penny, and the whatever was on
Yeah.
the back of most of the pennies for our lifetime. Which
Well,
was,
and they used to have, now it was mostly the quarters, but still it's would always be fun on the pennies to look at the years because you could have a, assortment and you could have, 2000, 1988, whatever it may be. But I've got at my house, and Daniel has, I think it's his grandfather's kind of coin collection, and it's different coins from traveling abroad, but there was pennies in there, and so it's fun to look at the dates.
well, so we've got basically, I don't know, penny's been around for I guess 230 years now, and it's done.
ending. Yeah.
The era is over. So why did it end?
Let's hold on. I want to go back to it. So Cam,
Yes.
230 plus years of this penny, and it's had what we figure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 designs.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? 5 designs over 230 years.
That means it's pretty iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not rapidly changing every year.
Yep.
They need to bring back the flowing hair Liberty penny. Look at
that's
that.
pretty.
Guy.
Oh,
It kind of looks like Ben Franklin, actually.
Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, it does.
So simple.
But okay, so here to that point, because Cam said, it kind of looked like a token or something. Some of the older coins, you may look at it and it seems fake or it seems like something else, but it could just be a very old coin.
Do you remember in the early aughts, the collector's quarters with that represented each state? I had a map where you would plug that quarter in a physical map. I never got all of them, but I was getting close. I remember thinking, Alaska will be released like in 15 years. I'll never make it.
Because it made it fun. And that's what they've got, those different things, or they'll have like, here's the inaugurational quarter. There's this, there's that. And okay. So the cost of the cents. Rising metal and manufacturing costs meant the mint was losing money on every penny produced. About 3.69 cents per, I guess $3, 3.69. About $3.69. No,
3.69 cents.
Okay.
Not $3. That would be extraordinary.
I'd understand why they're quitting that. So we're losing about 3.69 cents per coin. So then if a penny is 1 cent, but we're losing 3.69 cents. That
just doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense.
So obviously the demand for small change has decreased. I think I mentioned that. Yep. Americans just don't use coins the way they used to. I mean, again, cashless payments, credit cards, phone, tap to pay, dominate. They dominate purchases these days.
Absolutely.
Even vending machines and laundry machines have largely gone digital. So when you can get them to work,
I would say that used to be the last place that I would see is coins. Is depending on the hotel or the place you were, they do not have the credit card part of it. Or the credit card machine doesn't work. Yeah. You've got to use coins.
Yeah, you've got part of the reason that I travel with money is because that hotel vending machine, it may have the credit card option on there, but a lot of times it won't be working, and so you have to use cash.
Of course, those vending machines now, like it's $2 for a soda.
Yeah. Listen, the last place I was, it was $4 to buy a 20-ounce bottle of Coke, and that's ridiculous. Yeah. 2024.
Okay.
U.S. Mint lost $85.3 million, making 3.2 billion pennies. That's, to put it in perspective, that seems like if we want to be efficient government, then let's stop doing that. Yeah, for sure.
Production costs jumped from 3.1 cents to 3.7 cents in just 1 year. Unsustainable for a 1 cent coin.
Well, copper is highly popular. I mean, you've heard about criminals that go into like steal abandoned buildings pipes and steal copper wiring and copper pipes and stuff like that. So copper is a demand product still, and clearly it's costing us to use it in our coinage. So I say forget that.
Well,
but how is this going to actually impact us?
Okay, so I started this off with the penny is gone. The penny is not gone. It will remain legal tender indefinitely.
It's kind of like the $2 bill. If you get a $2 bill, you can actually go somewhere and spend that $2 bill, even though they don't print them anymore.
Yeah. So. Now, what you're going to happen is, obviously now it's still very fresh, but you could get down the road many, many years and people are like, what is this again? Mm-hmm. And you may have people that don't understand, but it's going to be around.
I have been to a store and tried to use a $2 bill and they thought it was fake money. So it'll happen with the penny maybe eventually.
Yeah. The U.S. has an estimated 250 billion pennies still in circulation. So they're still out there. They're still around. Maybe if you want to start collecting them because they're not making them anymore, they're going to have some more value to it. And you might see some coin collectors really start picking up because the demand now, there's not going to be any more circulated. Now, we just said there's 250 billion still in circulation.
Mm-hmm. All right, somebody math it up for me. How many dollars does 250 billion pennies equal?
Katie, you want to take this or you want me to grab it? You got it?
Well, you move the dot, you move it over. So 250 is 2.5 billion.
Yeah.
Right?
$2.5 billion worth of pennies in circulation.
Listen, I could live off $2.5 billion.
Yeah. So it's out there. But again, I do think, supply and demand, it's going to be a collection that's going to happen. People are going to really start hoarding. I know I'm going to start paying a little bit more attention to my pennies that I've got because it's,
I do. I mean, again, I tend to collect $2 bills and I've got a massive stash of $2 bills because they're not created anymore. And the reason I collect them is because there's nobody making them. Mm-hmm. I try not to spend them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless it's an emergency.
We've got a friend that sends $2 bills to people on their birthday. little kids on their birthday.
The reason I started collecting them is my grandmother, when she was still alive, she gave every one of her grandkids a $2 bill for their birthday. So
That's
she
cool.
apparently had a massive stash up.
That's
in
very
somewhere.
cool.
So, okay, let's listen. We're a financial podcast. We're trying to help people with finances. How is this actually going to impact people?
Yep.
What's the bottom line?
Well, so I mean, as we said before, like it's going to look at the production. It's saving taxpayers roughly $56 million per year.
Mm-hmm.
Digital payments unchanged. Everything will still process to the exact cent.
Okay.
So it's not like there aren't going to be anything that's 99 cents anymore.
Right.
Which we know is still a big marketing scheme because it's 99 cents plus tax. But eventually, as pennies get lost, worn out, or hoarded, they'll become scarce.
So for cash purposes, I mean, if you're paying cash, then eventually, once the pennies are out of circulation or have run out or whatever, if you buy something, anything that you buy that has a total that ends in 1 cent or 2 cent, it'll round down to 0 cents. And if it ends in 3 cents or 4 cents, you'll round it up to 5 cents because as of right now, nickels are still in circulation and are still being produced. Now, I've heard rumblings that we should even get rid of the nickel.
Oh.
But that was from one coin
at a
congressman.
time.
Yeah,
One
like,
coin
listen,
at a
guys, let
time.
us get used to the penny being gone before you start taking away our nickels.
Yeah,
too.
it's still burning. Okay, come on.
Funny, a little insider baseball here. When we were mapping out this podcast before we actually recorded episode 1, we were throwing names around, and one of them was Pennywise.
Yeah, I remember.
Kind of like the clown, but
I
it's
remember
also
that.
wisdom with money.
Yep.
That name would just be in the trash with the penny going away.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we didn't go with Pennywise.
But I mean, yeah, there's so many penny, like as we talked about penny for your thoughts, my 2 cents, things like that, that there's going to be generations, like you mentioned, my boys, like I'm sure they're going to be like, what's the penny again? Oh, is that coin that doesn't exist anymore? You're so old. You were around when the penny stopped being produced. Like that's a thing now.
Yep.
We remember the day the penny died.
Yeah.
Bye, Miss American Pie.
It's kind of like landlines. Kids these days don't know landline. You ask them to do the phone signal. You know, we're used to the thumb and the pinky. Now, they do this.
And it's going to become one
Isn't
of
that
those.
funny?
Okay, so for those of you listening, Cameron just held his hand like he was holding a Coke can or holding an iPhone. That kind of hand gesture held it up to his ear. Apparently, that's what kids these days are doing instead of the thumb and the pinky.
the pinky.
The banana-shaped phone, the classic phone we all knew. They don't know.
They don't know what that
But
means.
there's so many phrases like that. That's a whole podcast we could do of the phrases that are common language that when you try and explain it to somebody, they don't know what you're talking about. Like roll the window down. Like
Oh yeah, they're just like
me push the button instead of let me crank it down.
Well, economists say that the whole penny going away thing isn't really going to matter. Basically, they say it's going to cost the impact will basically be de minimis. It's not gonna matter. But
Okay.
psychologically speaking, one of the big things that people talk about is the pricing trick that retailers play, where they'll price something at $4.99 instead of $5 because supposedly
It seems better.
I mean, apparently that's been the ongoing theory for years and years and years.
Fast food places, the 99-cent meal or things like that. Like you've got those, and $4.99 does sound better than $5. But then there's some people who really like that even. And as we said, like the 99 cent, it's with tax. Like you're not paying 99 cents.
Yeah, but also if you're paying credit, they can still price things at 99 cents or $4.99 if you're paying credit, and we're not going to go away from the decimal system of our dollar. Then you can and like for instance, we're in the investment industry, and decimals on the value of stocks and on the value of securities, that's not going away.
No, that's not.
So anyway,
so what you're going to expect to see is with the rounding on cash sales, the psychological price points may lose some of their magic, at least when physical currency is involved. But expect to see more whole number cash prices, while digital prices might keep the 99-cent ending. And again, this just happened this November. So you're not going to see restaurants, you're not going to see stores, things that have physical printed things with prices. They're not going to go and change all this. Restaurants aren't going to redo their menus, things like that. This is going to be an evolution over time as they adjust stuff. Now, a lot of places, I don't know if y'all have seen it recently, they'll do like their throwback where it's like, let's go back to our, opening prices, or let's go back to our 1980s prices. So it'll be interesting to see some of that stuff. So what's next? The big question?
I mean, I already mentioned it,
Yep.
but yeah, is the nickel next? It costs.
Say it isn't so.
Well, it costs more to make a nickel than a nickel is actually worth. So again, we're at a deficit just producing the currency. So why not get rid of it?
Is the nickel back? Never made it as a wise man.
Look at this photograph.
This is how. Okay. Yep.
Oh, Lordy Lou. Okay, the nickel, as we said, it costs more than 5 cents to produce. This entire shift reflects a broader move towards modernizing and streamlining the U.S. monetary system.
Ooh, try
that
that one again.
Modernizing. Let's try this again.
Okay.
The entire shift reflects a broader move towards modernizing and streamlining the U.S. monetary system.
Perfect. As inflation continues to make small denominations less useful, America may follow the path of Canada, Australia, and others that phased out their lowest denominations. So my next question to you is, does Britain still have the 1 pence? Because I
think they did.
I assume that our penny comes from the British pence.
Yeah. I'm trying it was a couple of years ago that I was in Great Britain, but I believe they still had that. Of course, it's one of those, anytime I travel, then a lot of times I'm like, I have these coins. Which one do you need?
Yeah.
Because
just show them all your money. Take what you want.
Yeah, because it's different. Like ours, the smallest coin is the smallest denomination, and then it gets bigger.
Except for the dime, which throws everything off.
Yeah, the dime throws everything off. But that's not always the case everywhere else. It could be like, oh, well, actually, this bigger coin is the 1 cent coin, and then that's that. Or that's what they tell me. They could be taking my big change. I don't know.
Goodbye to the penny. Yeah. Goodbye to the yellow brick road. Goodbye,
Miss American Pie.
Yeah, there you go.
Let me reiterate at the beginning of this, I said, no, the penny's gone. The penny is no longer being produced. It is
People
no
aren't going
longer
to come
being created.
Banging on your door to take all your pennies. No. We need these pennies back.
This is not a hijack situation. They're not trying to get them all out of circulation immediately. This is a major historical turning point. So this is a big deal. Kind of, we've joked about the millennial generation. Has been through a lot. And so this is going to be an iconic thing of, I remember when the penny was no longer being produced, still in circulation. So we're years and years out from where we're going to have, there's no longer pennies in circulation. But existing pennies will remain in circulation, but their numbers will shrink over time. Again, due to hoarding, people just not wanting to carry them anymore because it's, we're not really using them.
And even metal wears out after long
usage. And
so.
Pennies always get gross. Like, I remember when I would play with the coins and stuff like that and look at it or like roll them, then some of them are just nasty looking. You can't even tell, is that still a penny anymore?
Yeah. So how's this going to affect you? Most people, it probably won't. If you like us have a sort of nostalgia factor where you like thinking about the fact that you have a jar of pennies that you throw pennies into and then roll them up and then use them as actual money, or people who collect, obviously they'll be impacted. Yeah. But for most of us, we're probably not going to see a massive change anytime.
See, now I've got this bug that I think I may have to go find a really cool jar and find all the pennies I can and put it in this jar. So when the boys are older, I can be like, look, boys, look, you see on that horizon? The jar with the pennies. Let's discuss.
Bottom line, the end of the penny is the end of an era. It sort of signals really a transition to our digital age of
it's happening.
Payments. Oh, there's the closing bell. Ladies and gentlemen, you've made it to the end of yet another episode of the Bullcast Podcast. If you liked what you heard and you'd like to hear more, please feel free to go to your favorite subscription service and sign up to have our podcast delivered directly to your device every single Thursday at noon. If you'd like to find out more about Cortland, Katie, Cameron, or Nicole, please feel free to go to our website. That website is bullcastpodcast.com. We've got pictures up there. We've got our bios, and we've got a place where you can drop a comment or suggest a topic you'd like to hear us talk more about. But I mentioned pictures. We do have an Instagram handle where you can see pictures. That Instagram handle is at Bullcast Podcast. We also have an X handle, which is also at Bullcast Podcast. And rounding out social media, we have a Facebook page. Check us out there. That Facebook page is Bullcast the Podcast. As I like to do every single episode, let me mention to you that Katie, Cameron, Nicole, and Court all work at a place called Pickler Wealth Advisors. And if you'd like to find out more about us, find out more about what we do, find out about what we could do for you, find out about our amazing team, and find out about our boss, David Pickler, please feel free to go to that website. That website is picklerwealthadvisors.com.
That's advisors with an O.
Not an E.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've given you nothing today. We've given you pennies. We've given you cents. We've given you everything that you need to go forward into a digital payment age. So for now, I'm Court.
I'm Katie.
I'm Cam.
And we're done.